Less than 2 months after Oregon lifted its indoor mask mandate, it's coming back. Governor Kate Brown announced that masks will once again be required in all indoor public spaces statewide.
Yeah, the change comes as COVID case numbers and hospitalizations are soaring. We will hear more details on when that mandate starts in a press conference live at 11 a.m. today from the governor. Meanwhile, Catherine Cook has reaction.
Oregon Governor Kate Brown on Tuesday announced the return of a statewide indoor mask mandate as COVID hospitalizations hit an all-time high. She promised to share more details on Wednesday, adding that state employees would need to be vaccinated by October 18th. The announcement comes a day after Multnomah County implemented its own indoor mask mandate effective Friday. It was the only county to do so since the state had left it up to individual counties to decide. The governor's about-face does not surprise Yamhill County Chair Mary Starrett.
For instance, what happened in Multnomah County, I said, well, it's just a matter of time, any day now. We're seeing this one-size-fits-all top-down mandate. Legislature's not involved. Local government's not involved. The people are not being consulted.
Starrett says Yamhill County had not planned on re-implementing a mask requirement. She fears the state won't stop with its renewed mandate.
What happened last time was we saw a lot of businesses shut down. Are we going to wait and see that the businesses that wound up surviving are not going to make it this time?
For doctors, the renewed mask mandate is a welcomed response to the rapid increase in hospitalizations. As of Tuesday, a record 635 people were in Oregon hospitals with COVID-19. The old record was 585 patients set in November. Of those hospitalized, 164 are in ICU beds. That's another record. As for new case numbers, the Oregon Health Authority reported 2,329 on Tuesday. That's the highest daily case count since the start of the pandemic. As the Delta variant continues to hit hard, it raises a huge concern for the unvaccinated. Looking at the numbers, OHSU data scientist Peter Graven worries cases may continue to rise until Oregon reaches herd immunity.
It's a sizable population in Oregon. I would say, we have about 1.2 million people who are still susceptible. If they all got infected at once, which is kind of what we're looking at right now, we do not have room for the share that need the hospital.
Catherine Cook, KGW News.
Healthcare workers in Washington are required now to get the COVID vaccine. And so far, about 60 to 70% of workers in long-term care facilities are vaccinated. But the number concerns the president of the Washington Healthcare Association, Robin Dale. He says vulnerable patients could become infected.
Individuals who choose not to get vaccinated are no longer choosing between working at one place versus another place. It's whether or not they're going to work in healthcare or not.
Dale supports the vaccine mandate, but he's worried workers will leave the profession. Even without the mandate, long-term care facilities in Washington are understaffed.
Let's get to 3 more things to know about COVID this morning. We start with hundreds of ventilators on their way to Florida as that state deals with record COVID cases and hospitalizations. The shipment includes 200 ventilators and 100 smaller breathing devices. Just yesterday, health officials reported nearly 15,000 new hospitalizations in Florida. Nearly 90% of the state's ICU beds are full right now, and 85% of all patient beds are full. Number 2, this Friday, the CDC will review the data on COVID vaccine booster shots. An advisory committee will discuss things like dosage and give an update on additional doses for people who are immunocompromised. The panel won't call a vote on this, though. Instead, the FDA would first have to either amend the emergency use authorization or grant full approval of the vaccines. And number 3, colleges and universities across the country are concerned that students might try to get their hands on fake vaccination cards. A growing number of schools will require that students and staff on campus get vaccinated, so now they're worried that people who don't want to get the shot might try to cheat the system.
It should surprise no one that students have the ability to develop fake IDs. But where these fake IDs in this case can threaten our campus, our state, our country, and our world, we need to have more rigorous checks in place to ensure that we have the universal vaccination that's necessary in order to contain this pandemic and return to some new norm.
This is a topic they're talking about today on the Today Show. You can hear more on that conversation coming up this morning starting at 7 o'clock. And those are 3 things to know about COVID this morning.
Turning now to gun violence in our area, and Portland is on pace to see the most homicides it's ever seen in 1 year. 2 more people were shot and killed early yesterday morning. Now, we broke this story on Sunrise because it happened in the 5 a.m. hour near Northeast 82nd and Fremont. In addition to 2 people killed, 3 others were injured in that shooting and taken to the hospital. And one woman we talked with said her mother and grandmother, just going out to get in their car, were injured.
She has a bullet in her arm, like towards her wrist-ish, kind of. We're not too sure if she's gonna still have her arm. But my grandma, she ended up getting grazed in the head with the bullet. She ended up getting some stitches of that.
Just awful. There have now been 58 homicides in Portland this year, and we're only in August. With less than 5 months to go in the year, the city is on pace to surpass the most homicides ever. That number is 70 from back in 1987.
All right, let's talk about Vancouver for a moment because 1 man was killed and another was critically injured in 2 shootings there earlier this week. The first one happened around 10 o'clock Monday night at the Columbia View Apartments. Police say a man was gunned down in the parking lot of that complex. He was rushed to the hospital, but he died from his injuries. The other shooting happened just 20 minutes later and about 2 miles away at the entrance to the Thunderbird Village Apartments. Someone shot a man who was sitting in his car there. One resident near the first shooting said she heard it all happen right outside her building.
All of a sudden, I heard like a pop, 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 and then a couple more. It was super loud. It was crazy. So I hit the ground and then I called 911.
All right, so far, police say they don't have evidence that these 2 shootings are connected, and at this point, they haven't identified the victims or released any information about the suspects.
Firefighters from Polk and Yamhill counties are headed down to help the Skyline Ridge complex. It's burning in Douglas County, the Roseburg area, and contains several small fires spreading across 2,000 acres. Officials expect it to become more active because of our heat this week, so they are proactively sending those crews in place.